Good morning and welcome back. We're going to go ahead and start making our tags today. Sorry about yesterday with a long day of travel, and then I wasn't feeling really well, so I wasn't able to videotape last night. So we're going to go ahead and make 2 tags today. These are some of the stamps that we're going to use. This is a real nice journaling set that I've had for a few years from Autumn Leaves. We're also going to use the 7 Gypsies set. Now any flourish stamp that you have is going to be just fine in any journaling stamp. It doesn't necessarily have to be this exact set. So whatever you have in your art room is what I'm encouraging you to use for this project. We're going to revisit this set. This is a nice set from Art Warehouse. We're going to be using the tree and also the little being together on that today. And then we're going to reuse this set here that we used the other day, and we're going to be using the For Family on that one. So we're going to go ahead and start with the pocket, and hopefully you were able to locate your pocket. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Actually, I guess it would help if I just set it down there. There we go. If you were not able to purchase library pockets, I hope you use the template that I sent, and that worked out well for you. You want your pocket to be just a little bit bigger than the 3 inches so that your tag is going to slide in there nicely, and no more than 5 inches long so it fits nice in. Now I've got my stamp on the block, and we're going to be using the same color inks we used the other day. So we're going to use the Umber, Cognac, and the Landscape. So I'm just going to go ahead and open those up and have those ready to use as I need them. So you're going to go ahead and load your ink on to your block. And then we're just going to put it up here in the corner a little bit. Like so. And then we're going to go ahead and use that flourish. And I like to put it on my block a little bit at an angle. Fits in there nicer. And I don't put the ink all over the entire stamp because I'm not going to use the entire stamp. I'm just going to use a little bit of it. So I'm going to go ahead and just use it down here in the corner. And then up at the top, I want to stamp, but I don't want it to get on the inside of my pocket. So I'm actually just take a little scrap piece of paper, and I'm going to stick it up in there so that it works as a mask. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. And then we're going to use that little bean together that was on the Art Warehouse set. Just stamp on the line. You could set these up together on your block, but I like to do them separate. Gives me a little bit more mobility of where I want to move and how close I want to get them together. And then we want to use the number 1 because this is our first day of the 12 things that we are grateful for. And then you're going to go ahead and just take an ink around the edges. Again, with that creamy brown ink pad. It's going to become a close friend. If you don't have one, I encourage you to get one of these. That might be the only thing you'll hear me encourage you to purchase instead of using out of your room for this class. Because this is something that I feel you will use over and over and over again in your projects, not just this one. Okay, so this tag then is complete for the outside pocket. And then you're going to go ahead and take your tag. Now I have the Creative Cafe tags. And as I mentioned in the last video, I want you to go ahead and trim that down to 5.5 inches versus the 6. Or excuse me, not 5.5, 5 3/4. I apologize, 5 3/4. And I'm just going to go ahead and ink the edges now since I had that ink pad out. And if you do not have the Creative Cafe, again, just go ahead and cut those out of cardstock. Punch a hole. And then this stamp that we're going to use is off of the Art Warehouse set. It's the journal. And as you can see, these are heavily used. I take these to every class every workshop that I teach in. I use this stamp set over and over and over again. So it's got a lot of nice variety of lines, as you can see there. We're going to go ahead and use the Ledger one. Now the photo is going to be going on the front of this tag. So we're going to flip it over because we want more space to go ahead and write about the things that we are grateful for. And I put my stamp on my block at an angle because then I get the most use out of it without having to have a bigger block. Go ahead and load your ink on there. Now I'm going to line it up at the bottom. And it's not going to come all the way to the end, but that's fine. It doesn't need to. And then just press, see if you get a nice even everywhere. And I have a little faded out there, but that works fine. If some of you were in my journal class, The Pieces of Me, I showed you a real fun way on how to use those little spots as a creative opportunity. Now here's the part that a lot of people get stressed over, and I don't want you to stress over this. I want you just to go for it. It's hard to see through the stamp because they are stained eventually from the ink. But I just want you to line it up, just eyeball it, overlap that last line, and go ahead and press down. It's not going to be perfect, but that gives it a cool look. And then I had stamped one earlier just to show you a little rub-on. I suggested the rub-ons from the Art Warehouse line. Danelle has a real pretty new little fall set that came out. It mostly looks like Halloween on the front, but on the back side there's about 6 or 8 pages of just all fall. And that's what I'm going to use out of this week to intermix and use as a supplement in places just to customize and have that real crisp, fun little black rub-on image. So for yesterday, we got snow, and Drury was asking for hot cocoa, so I went ahead and put the little cocoa one on mine. So then, let me find my tag again. Little pocket. Lost it. I set it down. It's getting crazy here. All right, well, here it is. All right, so then you're just going to go ahead. That's going to fit right in there. So your photo is going to go on here. You can write a little bit in title, and then you have your little pocket here to pull out and your journaling. Whoops, sorry. Try to do that again here. All right, so here's your tag. You're going to put a photo on the front, put it in your pocket. There you go. So that is the one, and then you can put a photo on the back here. So that's number 1 for grateful.